What is up, everybody? It's Cody with Blood Money MMA Bets, and I'm back with another full card prediction. This for UFC Vegas 81, Yusuff versus Barboza. And it's a pretty good card. It's kind of a weird main event, but it's still going to be a fun one to watch. And then there's some other really good fights on this card. Got a bunch of women's fights. I think there's like 4 out of 11 fights or women's fights. We got a couple late replacement fights. One I think was just added like today or something with Terrance McKinney. So I didn't get to do a full breakdown on that, but I will give you a pick on it. But yeah, man, it's going to be a pretty good card. We got this card, then we got UFC 294 next weekend, which is going to be a great card. I can't wait to bet on that card, but I'm going to kill this card. I'm going to get at least 5 units this week. I already got some solid bets, and I'm just waiting for 2 other lines to drop, and I'm going to get 5 units this week. Therefore, we're going to get 5 units. So everybody, man, before I get into all this stuff, please hit that like and subscribe button for me. Leave a comment, help the algorithm. I did a contest giveaway last week, and nobody hit the parlay. So instead of doing one this week because I'm behind, I'm going to do a big giveaway for UFC 294 next week. I'm going to put some cards in it, put some shirts and stuff in it. So everybody look out for that next weekend. I appreciate everybody that ever participates in anything. Layer Cake Discord is free. The link is in the description. It's free. You can join it. You can talk with everybody. I've been so busy with work. I haven't been able to get on it as much as I wanted to lately. Like I get on it every day, but I'm not able to put a ton of time in it. Like get on my phone at work too much and all that stuff. But it's awesome. There's a bunch of awesome people in there during the fights. Everybody's talking about all the fights. There's stocks, football, baseball, every kind of betting that you can do. I have the Layer Cake Patreon. That's $10 a month. This is where you're going to get all my early picks, all my early bets. You're going to beat line movement. I've already beat a bunch of line movement for this week and next week. You're going to get my 10 best bets in order of confidence. You're going to get my DraftKings lineup. You're going to get my Layer Cake parlay. You're going to get a whole bunch of extra content from me, but you're going to be supporting the channel, man. If you want to find a way or figure out a way to help support the channel and whatever, man, Layer Cake Patreon. I really appreciate everybody that's in it. And I really appreciate everybody that's in the Discord. Everybody that likes this video, watches the video, man, leaves a comment. I appreciate all you guys. And yeah, man, let's do a quick recap of UFC Vegas 80, and then we will get right into UFC Vegas 81. UFC Vegas 80 recap. I went 2-2 on my bets. I have, I usually do my 5 bets. Felipe Lins, my most confident bet on the card, was canceled, so that took me down to 4 bets. Then I had Drew Dober on a parlay with Montel Jackson. Montel Jackson fell off, so that turned into a straight bet on Dober. So basically, I had like 3 bets in. I don't like that. I have a system of my 5 bets where certain bets pay for other bets and allow for certain bets, and it's a whole thing. And yeah, I got pretty screwed over this week, but it is what it is, man. We're gonna get double this bag. We're gonna get triple this bag. I'm gonna get 5 units this week. I'm not just talking. I got 5 solid bets that I'm doing. I'm gonna get 5 units this week. UFC Vegas 80 recap, 2-2 for minus 1.5 units. My 2 winning bets, Bill Algeo. I tried to tell the whole world. Everybody on Twitter was against me, man. Oh, if that Lins fight wouldn't have got canceled, I would have made some money. I would have been able to brag a little more. But yeah, man, Bill Algeo was always the side there, plus 2.5 units on that. He was the bigger, better fighter, better cardio, better toughness. He was able to get hit hard and stay up, and he was able to hit Hernandez hard, and he fell. So that's what helped get him that decision win. Then I had Drew Dober plus 0.75 units on that. And yeah, man, that was easy money. I just wish it would have been more for the winning part. Had a different person on the parlay than Jackson. 2 losing bets. Montana De La Rosa minus 3 units. No, I mean, like she didn't even try to wrestle. The bet was placed on her obviously because she would try to wrestle in the first round. She probably wouldn't get too many takedowns, but she would start wearing on JJ and then just keep pressuring. That's what I said, and she did none of that, man. She just boxed with JJ, got boxed up 30-27. Minus 3 units on Montana De La Rosa, and then minus 1.7 units on Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Everybody can say what they want to say. I know everybody that had a bet on Joe Pyfer, their butt was puckering in that second round. When he started taking the leg kicks, he's swinging them big shots, missing. Al Hassan was taking over, and then Joe Pyfer, man, he's a bad dude. He went in, he did that takedown. He knew he needed to get something done because the whole tide of that fight was changing. And he did it, man. He picked him up, slammed him right into the arm triangle. It was nice. So congratulations, Joe Pyfer. So yeah, man, 2-2 for minus 1.5 units. I'm not happy about this. But you know what I mean? At least I do recaps on this channel when we lose. A lot of channels, they don't be doing that. So Official bet record is overall it's 282 and 200 for plus 103.95 units. That's overall. My 2023 record is 178 for plus 26.65 units. So we're still doing good. We're still up money overall on the year. I'm not happy about last week. I'm going to change the momentum around. Like I said, this week is going to be 5 units. I'm gonna get 5 units this week. So I also want to give a shout out to my boy Taylor Marchetti. I was supposed to give him a shout out a couple weeks ago when he put in some parlays. He hit some crazy parlays. He had I want to tell you guys this one. All right, so he had $10 right to win 569, and he had Miles Johns, then he had Tim Means, and then he had the Chargers, the Jaguars, and the Colts. All these different money lines of plus money guys. So $10 got him 569. Then I really like this. He had this big parlay in Muhammad Usman, Charles Jourdain, Brian Battle, Bryce Mitchell. Then he had the Dolphins, Eagles. $30 got him 389. And then I want to also say I'm sorry to my Layer Cake Discord. I forgot to put a winning bets thread in last week. I've been so busy with work and so much stuff that I'm sorry. I'll have one in this week, and I'll get everybody taken care of and shouted out and everything. So I'm very sorry about that. All right, let's get right into this UFC Vegas 81 card, and it's going to be a pretty good card. Like I said, the main event's a little weird. You know, Barboza was coming off a couple of losses till he got that win over Billy Q, and Sadiq's barely been fighting, but it's going to be a decent card. But first fight for UFC Vegas 80 is Chris Gutierrez versus Alatengheili, and this is going to be a good fight. This is a late notice fight. But it's not a short notice fight for either one of these. Gutierrez was supposed to fight Montel Jackson last week, and Alatengheili was supposed to fight on this card against Ronnie Yaya. But that fight was Ronnie Yaya had to pull out. So it's not really a short notice fight for either one of these guys. They was both getting ready for a fight in these last couple of weeks. But this is going to be a super good fight at bantamweight. You got Chris Gutierrez, who is 19-4-2. He's currently sitting at minus 250. He's 32 years old, 5'9" with the 67-inch reach. Alatengheili is 16-8-2, currently sitting at plus 195. He's 31 years old, 5'5" with the 66.5-inch reach. So you see Gutierrez is 4 inches taller with a half an inch of reach. Chris Gutierrez, man, he's a good fighter. He's been in the UFC for a while now, man. He's got an excellent kicking game. He's got a decent boxing game. He's got really good spinning stuff. He's got good takedown defense, and he's got good cardio, good movement, and he's super fast. But he can be low output. I don't really like his boxing. I don't think his boxing is all that great. He does have good kicks, good spinning stuff, but just straight up boxing, he doesn't have much of it. Guys can pressure him with boxing, just like Pedro Munoz did. But he had a good win. He had a good win against Frankie Edgar, where he hit him with that flying knee. Before that, against Dana Bakhtarov, he was getting beat up a little bit in that fight. I watched that fight live in Columbus, and then he hit him with that spinning back fist. But he did land some good leg kicks before that. The Felipe Corrales fight, I actually thought he lost that split decision. Here's a weird thing about Chris Gutierrez, right? He has 25 professional fights. And out of them 25 fights, he has 5 split decisions and 2 draws. So 7 of his fights have either gone to split decision or draw out of 25. So he fights every fight close. He doesn't really separate himself from people because he doesn't really have KO power in his hands. He really only has leg kicks and movement. And then, like I said, it can be pretty low output. He's got a good takedown D, though. He's got good cardio, good toughness. I like that about him. But Alatengheili, this dude has really good boxing. He has good power in his hands. You've seen his last fight with Chad and Hellinger. He hit him with some nice power with both hands. He's got good power in his left hand and right hand. His left hook was rocking and Hellinger, and it was on the money. It was just accurate and right on the money. He's got good wrestling. He barely uses it, but he does have good wrestling. Like Dana Bakhtarov, when they fought a couple years ago, it was 1-1 going in the third, and then he finally got into the wrestling to get the win there. And he's used it a couple times. He wasn't able to use it against Casey Kenny. Kevin Kroom, he came out when Kevin Kroom dropped down and dropped in weight, and he was able to knock him out in 47 seconds. I bet Tim Elliott probably watches that fight on repeat. Yeah, man, Chad and Hellinger fight, he looked really good in it. He's got good forward pressure. This is in the small cage. That's going to take a lot of Gutierrez movement away. That's why I was picking against him against Montel Jackson. But I'm not as high on Chris Gutierrez as other people are. Like every single fight that he's fought, other than the Frankie Edgar fight, has been really, really close. And he really did. And Dana Bakhtarov was really, really close. And he didn't really even pull away against Andre Ewell. Had a draw against Cody Durden. He beat Vince Morales with leg kicks. But other than that, Geraldo de Freitas, split decision. Felipe Corrales, split decision. Like he doesn't pull away from anybody, man. I don't know, man. I think I like Alatengheili here. Like I said, it's not short notice for either guy. He's a little bit shorter, but he brings on the forward pressure. As long as he doesn't get his lead leg beat up too bad, I think he's going to have the boxing advantage and he's going to have the wrestling advantage if he uses that. He is 4 inches shorter, but he has pretty much the same reach advantage. And I think he's going to be tougher here. And I think that he's going to have more output. He can be low output too, but I think that he's going to have to come forward here and be in boxing range. He can't stand back at kicking range. He's coming out of fight ready. So I'm going to assume that they're going to have him ready with the excellent game plan here. So give me Alatengheili. I'm not as high on Chris Gutierrez as a lot of people are. Next fight is in the men's featherweight, or the men's it's a catchweight at 130, but it's supposed to be a flyweight. Edgar Chairez versus Daniel Lacerda. This is a rematch from a fight a couple weeks ago where, everybody's seen it, where Chairez got him in the arming guillotine and the ref thought it was over, so he stopped it, and Lacerda wasn't out all the way, so they gave it a no contest. Edgar Chairez is 10-5, currently sitting at minus about 350, 330. He's 5'7" with the 72-inch reach. Lacerda is 11-5, currently sitting at probably plus 260, 27 years old, 5'6" with the 70-inch reach. So you see Chairez is an inch taller with 2 inches of reach. Edgar Chairez, man, I like this guy's style. He's tough. He's mean. He has good cardio. He has good durability. He hits hard. He throws powerful leg kicks. He's got a really crispy jab. He's got really opportunistic ground game. He doesn't have the best takedown defense, but if you take him down, he's going for guillotines. He's going for arm triangle chokes, arm bars, everything off his back. And he's more of a striker, but he has developed a good ground game. Powerful leg kicks. These two dudes in the first fight were both exchanging leg kicks, but you could tell Chairez was just hitting harder with the leg kicks. Good offensive and defensive jiu-jitsu, like I said. You even seen the jiu-jitsu standing. You even have to get it to the ground to get that choke in. His lead left hook is powerful, man. I think he can use that here against Lacerda and hit him with some nice shots at catching Lacerda coming in, because Lacerda likes to dart in with his shots. You got and I also like Chairez, man. You've seen in his fight with Tatsuro, where he was able to drop Tatsuro in that first round, and then he was able to get him into some really, really tight chokes, guillotine chokes a couple times in the fight. And in the third round, he ended up getting the guillotine, switched it to the mounted guillotine, and almost choked Tainara out. If there's 20 more seconds, he would have put Tainara out. Looked really good against Clayton Carpenter on the Contender Series, and Clayton Carpenter I'm high on. He's actually really, really good. So he's well-rounded. Then you got Daniel Lacerda, 0-4 in the UFC, man, with 4 finished losses, all in the first or second round. This dude's finished all 11 of his wins and been finished in all 5 of his losses. He's only gone past the first round and a half one time, and that was against CJ Vergara in his last fight that went the full distance. But man, this dude's kill or be killed. Like I said, like I like to call it good hammer, bad nail. He got really good boxing. Well, he's got powerful boxing that's fast. He's got good kicks, spinning kicks, decent leg kicks, decent wrestling, decent jiu-jitsu. But as you've seen in the last fight with Chairez, man, he took Chairez down pretty quick into the fight, and then Chairez was able to get back up and get him in that guillotine, the standing guillotine. Like, I don't think that Lacerda is really good anywhere. I don't think he has much confidence in himself anymore. He came out and fought that last fight at a slower pace, and it looked all right at first. He's doing a couple striking exchanges. Then he goes for the wrestling. The wrestling don't work, and then he's done. And the same thing's going to happen here, because Chairez is just too big, too tough, too durable, and too well-rounded for Lacerda to win this fight, man. I think Chairez is going to get it done. I think he does it the same way. He's going to get a submission win in under the round and a half. And I'm pretty confident on that. I mean, we all seen how that fight was going to end, and I don't see it getting any different. I know some people are on Lacerda this week and think that he was like winning the fight going up to that point, but like it was like literally a minute and 30 seconds in, and it looked like Lacerda already, gave it a good go, got some takedown stuff, got reversed, and now Chairez was about to start getting him, and then the ref stopped it. But This should be a decent fight while it lasts. Next fight is in the women's bantamweight division. We got Tainara Lisboa versus Ravena Oliveira, and this should be a decent girls fight, man. Both these girls are super, super aggressive. You got Lisboa, who is 6-2, currently sitting at minus 370, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. Oliveira is 7-1-1. Currently sitting at plus 290. She's 26 years old, 5'5", reach not available. So you see Lisboa is 2 inches taller, and she's going to be bigger. Also, this is a short notice fight for Oliveira, and Oliveira usually fights at small flyweight, 125. So she's going to be the smaller girl here for sure. With weight, with reach, with height, everything. Lisboa is going to be the bigger girl. Lisboa, man, she's got a Muay Thai background, and you could tell in her last fight with Jessica Rose Clark, man, she has really, really straight punches. She had nice leg kicks. Her jab's phenomenal, and I like her straight punches. She punches right down the pipe and looking to hurt you with all them punches. She's got a killer clinch. Her knees are phenomenal. She's got really good takedown D. Then she's got pretty decent offensive wrestling herself and good jiu-jitsu. She's been choking girls out. Her last 2 wins are by submission, and this is coming from a world champion Muay Thai girl. 32 years old. She's not like a young prospect, but she's a prospect in the UFC right now because this girl looks so tough against Jessica Rose Clark. I mean, she beat her up standing up, and she beat her up on the ground. I'm pretty high on Lisboa. You know, I want to see what this girl's about. Sharp, powerful boxing, tough, excellent submissions, KO power. She's finished all of her wins, all 6 of her wins. She's got 3 KO, 3 submissions. She got beat earlier in her career, but you know, her first fight was against Norma Dumont. She was giving Norma Dumont problems in that before she got taken down and choked out. But super tough girl. And then Ravena Oliveira, man, I watched this girl's fight, and she's pretty good. You know, she's very physically strong. She's got decent boxing, and she throws with some power. She'll throw a lot of punches just like Lisboa, but her punches are more looping. It's not near as technical, but it is powerful. She's got a nice jab. She's got a pretty powerful right hand. She's got a good clinch. She likes to work girls up against the cage, beat them up in the clinch a little bit, and then get her grappling girl going, taking girls down, getting some really good ground and pound, excellent submissions. She's got her best part of her game that I seen was her ground and pound. Good cardio, good toughness, and she's pretty solid girl, you know. But like I said, she's usually a flyweight. She's coming here on short notice to fight a really, really tough and pretty big, you know, bantamweight. That's 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. So I'm going to take Tainara Lisboa. I'm going to take her by finish. I don't know if it's submission or KO. But I'm leaning KO because I think that Ravena is decent enough on the ground. I think Lisboa is going to end up keeping it standing and just hit her with some big knees in the clinch, be the bigger woman, land the bigger shots, and eventually find that finish at some point in the fight. Next fight is in the men's featherweight division. We have Darren Elkins versus TJ Brown. Darren Elkins is 27-11. 27-11, currently sitting at plus 155. He's 39 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. TJ Brown is 17-10, currently sitting at minus 185. He's 33 years old, 5'9" with a 72-inch reach. So you see, Elkins is 1 inch taller. TJ Brown has 1 inch of reach. You see, Elkins is 39 years old, but TJ Brown's 33 years old, but that's a 6-year age difference. Darren the Damage Elkins is a junkyard dog, and you guys know how I feel about junkyard dogs, man. I love to back him. I love to back him, man. Yes, he's 39 years old. He's had a little tough run, you know, that last fight with Jonathan Pierce where he got a little bit outstruck and out wrestled, but Jonathan Pierce is a savage. You know, a year and a half ago when he fought Tristan Conley, he put on a nice Darren Elkins performance. Tristan Conley is a big featherweight too. He's like up there around 5'11", 6 foot something, or 5'10", 68-inch reach. But Darren Elkins was able to push a grappling pace on him, a heavy grappling pace for 3 rounds, where he was able to put him in a lot of bad positions, almost choked him out. Tristan Conley's a pretty high level black belt though, and he was able to survive. But he looked great in that fight. He looked terrible against Cub Swanson, but Cub Swanson's a phenomenal striker. He was just way too fast for him. He had good takedown defense. Yeah, man, Darren Elkins is a junkyard dog. He's got good wrestling. He was an Indiana State champion. He's got good wrestling. He's got good cardio, junkyard dog, excellent jiu-jitsu, very underrated jiu-jitsu. He's 27-11, and he's actually got 14 finishes and 7 submissions, and I think that that's what's going to help him in this fight. He's fighting TJ Brown, who comes from like a football background in high school and all that. I don't think he really wrestled or none of that. But he's got decent wrestling for MMA wrestling, unless he's fighting another good wrestler, because he gets taken down like crazy. But he has decent striking, decent leg kicks. You've seen his last fight with Bill Algeo. He was able to land some decent shots on Bill Algeo before Bill was able to hit him with some bigger shots and get him out of there in the second round. He was able to dominate Eric Silva, but I don't think that guy was very good or UFC worthy. Then he fought Shylin Nerdembeki, and that's where Nerdembeki was able to out scramble him and out wrestle him, man, that whole fight. And that's a bad look, because if Nerdembeki can out wrestle you, then Darren Elkins can definitely out wrestle you. He was able to beat Charles Rosa. I thought Kai Kamaka beat him, to be honest. I actually bet TJ Brown that fight, and I thought Kai Kamaka won that fight. And then he lost to Danny Chavez and Jordan Griffin, who all 4 of them guys are out of the UFC. So I'm not really high on TJ Brown like other people. I'm more on Darren Elkins in this fight. I like to back Junkyard Dogs. TJ Brown, he's tough, but he's not really dangerous. He's not really finishing people. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he's going to be the dude that he's not like Cub Swanson. I don't think he's going to be the dude finishing anybody. He didn't finish Kai Kamaka, didn't finish Charles Rosa. He finished Eric Silva later in the fight, but like I said, I think that dude's a fraud. I like Darren Elkins here because he's going to be bigger. He's going to have the better cardio, and I know for a fact he's going to have the better wrestling. This is a step down for Darren Elkins, man. He's been fighting really, really the top of the division for a while. He had a couple step backs in competition, and he handled them appropriately. But I think that he's able to survive TJ Brown's striking. This is in the small cage. That's going to help Darren Elkins be able to get his hands on TJ Brown easier. I think he's going to be able to out-grapple him, and I think he's going to put a pace on TJ Brown in that first and second round and wear him out. And I think he gets the choke on TJ Brown. TJ Brown's 17-10, and he has been finished 7 times, 4 submissions, 3 TKO. Give me Darren Elkins as an underdog by submission. So let's go with second or third round. I think that he's a junkyard dog, man. And like I said, this step down in competition is huge. And he's 39 years old. Most time you don't want to back 39-year-olds. But if you do back a 39-year-old that's a junkyard dog that has phenomenal cardio and toughness and has a good wrestling background, and that's going to work a game plan. Next fight is in the women's strawweight division. We got the return of Ashley Yoder versus Emily Ducote. Ashley Yoder is 8-8, currently sitting at plus 260. She's 35 years old, 5'7", with a 69.5-inch reach. I don't think that's right. I don't think she's got 70-inch reach. Emily Ducote, currently sitting at minus 350. She's 29 years old, 5'2", with a 63-inch reach. So you see, Ashley Yoder is going to be 5 inches taller with at least 4 or 5 inches of reach. Yoder, she hasn't fought in 2 years. I thought she retired a couple years ago, and she retired when she's 35 now. She'll be 36 here, and next weekend she'll be 36. She hasn't fought in 2 years, and even when she fought, a couple years ago, she was not very good back then. She got lost 30-27 to Jinh Yu Frey. I watched that fight. Jinh Yu Frey outstruck her every single round. Same thing with Angela Hill before that. She's 1-4 in her last 5, and her only win was over Miranda Granger, who was not UFC caliber. Yeah, man. She's just not dangerous on the feet. She's tall, she's long, she's lanky. She throws punches, but she has no head movement. She has no defense, and people just go around her lazy jab and just piece her up. And she's got okay wrestling, and she's got pretty good jiu-jitsu, but she really doesn't have a way to get the fight to the ground ever. And yeah, man, coming back after 2 years off at almost 36 years old, I don't know, man. I don't really know. It's about 1-5, 1-4 in her last 5. It's weird. Emily Ducote, on the other hand, she's 1-2 in the UFC, but she's had a harder road, man. Her last 2 fights against Lupita Godinez and Angela Hill are super tough. She came into the UFC at 11-6, fought Jessica Panay, which is a tough call. A very, very high level black belt and veteran that was 14-5. She was able to get the win there. Used excellent leg kicks and crisp boxing to get that win. But then they threw right into like Angela Hill, who could fight any girl in the top 5 and hold her own. And then Lupita Godinez, who's on her way up too, and she put up a good fight there. That was a good back and forth striking fight, boxing match. Both them girls are good, but she's got really crisp boxing. I like her decent power in her left hook. She's got good power in her right hand. She's got powerful leg kicks. I really love her leg kicks. She's got a high school wrestling background where she was pretty high ranked in high school, and works the body well with punches and body kicks. I really do like her punches to the body. She'll throw a straight right to the body, left hook. Yeah, in this fight, I'm going with Ducote all day long. I think that Yoder's going to be tall and long, and she's going to be slow, and Ducote's going to be so much faster than her. I think she's got the wrestling to keep this fight standing 100%, and then she's going to be able to pick off Yoder's lead leg with them leg kicks, and then she's going to box her up, man. And I don't even think this is going to be close. I'm not really sure why. I like Ashley Yoder as a person. She seems cool and all that. I'm not really sure why she's coming back here. And I can guarantee the UFC is not trying to build her up at 8-8. They're trying to get Ducote a win and hopefully get her back on track so that she can start fighting these girls, top 20 again and put on some good shows. Next fight is in the women's bantamweight division. We got Irina Alekseeva versus Melissa Dixon. Irina, the Russian Ronda, is 5-1, currently sitting at plus 120. She's 33 years old. 5'8" with a 66-inch reach. Melissa Dixon is 5-0, currently sitting at minus 150. She's 32 years old, 5'7". The reach is not available. Irina, man, the Russian Ronda. If you go watch this girl's fight, she's super aggressive. She's a big girl. She's tall. She's big for the division. She came in like 4 pounds overweight last fight, so we'll see how that works out on this fight. But she's super aggressive, man. She's got decent striking. She'll wing big, powerful punches from the hip. She just throws wild punches. Not the most technical, but it is effective, and she does hit hard. I've seen her drop a couple girls. The girl that she lost to by that decision, I thought she won that fight. She dropped that girl a couple times. Excellent BJJ, as you've seen. She's a world Sambo champion. You've seen against Stephanie Edgar in her last fight. She went to the knee bar from basically standing, which was pretty sweet. Good top control, and she has phenomenal ground and pound on top. She'll go nuts. Even in that fight, she lost that decision. Like I said, I thought she won. She kind of gassed out because she dropped that girl and beat the crap out of her in the first round so much that she kind of gassed out. But this girl's a big, tough, aggressive girl, man, and she's actually pretty good. She's mean, and a lot of times all that stuff together is enough to get you a win in the women's division. She's fighting another girl that's big, tough, and mean, man. I like what I seen when I watched Melissa Dixon fight, man. She's got phenomenal boxing. She's very aggressive, very mean. You've seen in her amateur, she 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins, and they were all finishes. And then she finished her first 2 UFC opponents. I'm not UFC pro opponents, and then a couple decisions, and then a nice ground and pound win. And this girl right here, that was 7-0. That girl's tough, man. Daria. That girl was tough. So she was actually beating up Melissa a little bit before she was able to take her down and ground and pound her. But Melissa Dixon looks pretty well-rounded, man. Really good boxing, pretty powerful. She's got a strong clinch up against the cage. She's got okay wrestling, but she's got really good jiu-jitsu on top, and she's got good ground and pound, and she's very aggressive. Both of these girls are very, very aggressive. In this fight, I'm going to take Melissa Dixon. I think that if they go to the ground, she'll be on top, but I'm not betting nothing in this fight because this Irina is tough, man. She's aggressive and she's a good fighter, and both these girls are good. I think it should be like more of like a pick 'em. We'll see if Irina comes in shape, but I am going to take Melissa Dixon. I think that her boxing is way more crisp and straight and technical, so that should help her when they're standing and on the ground. I think that she's going to have the better wrestling and be on top, but I'm not sure, man. I would stay away from that fight 100%. Next fight is going to be wild. Well, actually, let me go through this Terrance McKinney fight real quick. Terrance McKinney versus Brendon Morotte. I didn't really get to check this fight out at all. I know this dude trains at the New England Cartel. Super tough. Them dudes are super tough, super durable with excellent boxing. He's young. He's only 26 years old, so I'm sure he's going to be super game. And then you got Terrance McKinney, who was supposed to fight Chris Duncan, but that fight got canceled. I'm going to take Terrance McKinney in this fight. I'm going to say that he gets the first round submission. I think that this Brendon Morotte dude, Morotte is going to come in here and want to strike, want to box and all that. And I think Terrance McKinney's going to box for a little bit and then take the smart way, get the takedown, and go for the submission. He's got a really good ground game. You've seen it against like for us, ZM, where he was able to choke him out. You've seen The Ghost Pepper Gonzalez, he was able to take his back, choke him out pretty easily. When he gets these step downs in competition, he's usually able to have his way with these guys. So give me Terrance McKinney, and give me Terrance McKinney by first round finish. Next fight is going to be, excuse me, phenomenal. Sorry. Next fight is going to be phenomenal. It is in the men's 135-pound division. Christian Rodriguez versus Cameron Saaiman. Man, this is going to be so good. Christian Rodriguez is 9-1, currently sitting at minus 150. He's 25 years old, 5'7" with a 71-inch reach. Cameron Saaiman is 9-0, currently sitting at plus 125. He's 22 years old, 5'8" with the 67-inch reach. So you see Simone's 1 inch taller, but Christian Rodriguez is going to have 4 inches of reach. Man, I can't wait to watch this fight. This fight could have been the main event for all I care. 5 rounds of these dudes going at it. But Christian Rodriguez, man, really, really good, really well-rounded fighter. This kid is well-rounded. He's got phenomenal boxing. He throws really straight, crisp punches. You seen he was piecing up Jonathan Pierce in his loss. That loss is when he came into the UFC and he fought Jonathan Pierce on short notice up a weight class. And Jonathan Pierce is a gigantic featherweight. But he's got excellent offensive and defensive grappling. You've seen it against Jonathan Pierce. You've seen it against Williams, and you've just seen it against Raul Rosas Jr. The dude is very calm. His facial expressions never change. He just flows with wherever the fight goes, and that allows him to keep his cardio up and just stay calm, man. He's good on top and bottom on the jiu-jitsu. On the bottom, he's got excellent sweeps. On top, he's got really good chokes. You've seen him put Weems out with the anaconda choke. He's got some rear naked chokes, and then he's also got arm bars and he's got knockouts, man. The dude is very well-rounded. He's been fighting. He's only 26, but he's been training with like Duke Rufus and all them dudes since he was like 16 or 15 or something crazy like that. But he's got really good pressure, really good cardio, really good toughness. I really like his boxing. He doesn't throw too many kicks, but he's just well-rounded, very tough. And like I said, I do like his crispy boxing. He has good wrestling, good defensive wrestling, and good jiu-jitsu, man. The kid is well-rounded and he's a good prospect. The Jonathan Pierce fight really opened my eyes because I had a bet on Jonathan Pierce in that fight, and he almost guillotined him twice, and then was landing some really nice striking on him when they were standing up, and Pierce was wrestling for his life. And then, like I said, he looked really good against Raul Rosas Jr. in his last fight. Cameron Saaiman, man, I actually went back and started watching his tape again, and I wasn't as high on him, but watching his tape, the kid's good, man. I think he has better striking here. He throws a lot more kicks than Christian Rodriguez does. He has really good hands, too. Good power in both hands. You've seen on the remember on the Contender Series when he knocked out Wang with that hook, man, and just put him out cold. But he's a smooth switch stance striker, which I think can definitely help him in this fight. Power and speed, power in both hands, excellent speed, excellent kicks, good variety kicks. He throws a ton of volume. He's got good offensive and defensive grappling. He can be taken down, but his jiu-jitsu is smooth. He's got good sweeps. Just a very, very tough kid with great cardio, constantly coming forward. Very good, very well-rounded everywhere, man. I was back and forth on this fight. You know, I couldn't figure out which person that I was going to want. In the end, I'm going to go with Christian Rodriguez just for the fact that I think he has better grappling in this situation. Like, I think he's going to have the better offensive grappling and land the takedowns out of these guys. But this fight is going to be a back and forth fight. I'm definitely not betting on this fight as far as a winner. Just for the pure fact that both these dudes are so good. This is going to be a fun one just to watch. But give me Christian Rodriguez by decision. But, man, I'm not betting it. You know, these two dudes, both of these dudes could be champions in the future. I think Cameron Saaiman will be a champion in the UFC, you know, and within the next 8 years. By the time he's 30, this kid's already so good at 22, you know. We'll see what he's doing when he's 30. Next fight is in the men's middleweight division. We have Michel Pereira versus Andre Petroski. Michel Pereira coming up to 185 for the first time in the UFC. He's fought there a couple times outside of the UFC, but you know, after missing weight against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and messing up that pay-per-view a little bit, I'm sure the UFC was like 185 or the door. So Michel Pereira is 28-11. He's 30 years old, 6'1" with the 73-inch reach. Petroski is 10-1. 32 years old, 6 foot with the 73-inch reach. So you see Michel Pereira is going to be 1 inch taller, but I think he's taller than that. I think that dude's like 6'2.5", man. They always say he's 6'1". He's fighting other dudes that are 5'11" or 6 foot, and he's like 4 inches taller than them. Like, this dude's super tall and skinny. And Petroski, you know, at 6 foot is super short and thick, but he is not short, but he doesn't look near as tall as Pereira. Michel Pereira, dude, capoeira style striking. He's gotten a lot more technical in the last couple of years, but he's got excellent striking, excellent movement. His boxing's good, nice long nice long punches. He's got really good front kicks. He throws a lot of front kicks and teep kicks to the body, and I like that. That's almost like a jab for him. He's keeping range. Fast, straight boxing, powerful right hand. He can drop dudes. He had that win over Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts back in the day. I think it was his first UFC fight, you know, and then he had that fight with Tristan Conley where he was doing all the flips and all that and ended up getting beat by Tristan Conley, and then illegally kneed Diego Sanchez and got disqualified. But other than that, you know, he's fought pretty low level 170ers, Zelinin Imadaev, Chaos Williams, Nico Price, Andre Fiallo, and Santiago Ponzinibbio. And all them guys, I like Ponzinibbio, but all them guys gave him super hard trouble. You know, Nico Price, you seen what Robbie Lawler and them guys did to him. They were able to just put him out kind of quick, and a lot of other dudes have put Nico Price out, and Michel Pereira went life or death and actually started getting beat up bad at the end of that fight. But he's a big, long dude. He's fast. He's explosive. He's got good switch stance striking, and he's a big dude, you know, just very explosive. But we haven't seen his grappling game. You know, he's fought all strikers. We've seen people get on top of him late in fights like Nico Price and them and beat him up for a little bit. But other than that, he showed pretty decent grappling, but he's fought all strikers. You know, he hasn't fought a straight up grappler in the UFC at all. And he's about to, because Andre Petroski, man, this dude's a high level black belt fighting out of Pennsylvania, Daniel Gracie, Renzo Gracie, Philly. And just a pretty tough dude, man. He's looked good in the UFC outside of being in the Ultimate Fighter where he was choked out by Brian Battle. Since he's been in the UFC, he's looked good. He's fought low-level guys like Michael Gilmore and Nick Maximoff, who's not too low-level, Wellington Turman, and then Gerald Mershart. But he's got good wrestling. He's got really good clinch against the cage, good knees in the clinch, high-level black belt in jiu-jitsu, good ground and pound, good positions. His problem is he looks like he has bad cardio, which he kind of does. Like, he slows down at the end of every round, but he comes out, he works through it. Even in the second and third, when he looks tired, he's always pushing through it and looking good. I thought he beat Gerald Mershart pretty cleanly. He dropped him in the first round and he dropped him in the second round, which I thought was enough to get the win, but they gave him the split. But his striking's getting a little better. You know, he was throwing some really big haymakers at Gerald Mershart, and Gerald Mershart was actually dodging a lot of them. So maybe his striking isn't getting much better, but it's still better than when he was on the Ultimate Fighter. But this is going to be a very, very, very close fight, you know, with both of these guys. But I'm going to go with the natural 185er, man. I'm going to go with my boy Andre Petroski. Shout out to Face Meat Fisk, my boy Dr. Sarowitz. The Face Meat Fisk guys hooked me up with the Petroski shirt. I'm going to go with Petroski. I think that he's going to be able to work his grappling. I think that Michel Pereira has super skinny legs, and I think Petroski's going to be able to get in on them. They're fighting in the small cage. That's going to kill a whole bunch of Michel, about 30% of Michel Pereira's style, and it's going to be able to let Petroski close the gap and get into them grappling situations a lot quicker in each fight or each round. So give me Petroski. I'm going to say that him being the natural big 185er, he's going to be able to have his way. When Pereira, the last time he fought at 185 that I remember is Dusko Todorovic outside of the UFC, and he got knocked out in the first round, and Dusko ain't knocking nobody out in the UFC. So I think Pereira knew there was a reason why he wanted to be at 170. He's a weight bully. He's kind of like he looks muscular, but he's a skinny guy. His legs are skinny. So give me Andre Petroski, man, to get that sub at some point. I think he can wear on Pereira. You get the sub. And I know Petroski's on short notice, but he wouldn't take this fight, I don't think, if he was out of shape. You know what I mean? I think this dude, he was out in Thailand doing some stuff. So I think this dude's definitely in shape. He'll get this one. Next fight is a banger in the men's bantamweight division. We got Jonathan Martinez versus Adrian Yanez. Jonathan Dragon Martinez is 18-4, currently sitting at -110. He's 29 years old, 5'8", with a 69.5-inch reach. Adrian Yanez is 16-4, currently sitting at -110. He's 29 years old, 5'7", with a 70-inch reach. So you see Martinez 1 inch taller, but Yanez has a half an inch of reach. Jonathan Martinez is an excellent fighter, man. He's got good striking, southpaw, good southpaw boxing. He's got powerful leg kicks. He trains with Chris Gutierrez. These dudes have some of some of the best kicking game in the bantamweight division for sure. Leg kicking game. But powerful leg kicks. He showed a new wrinkle in his game with some good grappling last fight against Said Nurmagomedov. He showed good offensive and defensive grappling. Pretty strong clinch up against the cage with some nice knees. Left body. His left kick to the body is powerful. His left leg kicked. And his left head kick is powerful. He's got good boxing. He's kind of like he's got better boxing than Chris Gutierrez, where he's more of a kicker, but he's got better boxing than Chris Gutierrez. Like I think Jonathan Martinez is a lot better than Chris Gutierrez. But excellent step in and clinch knees to the head. He's got 2 of them knockouts. Frankie Sands he hit with that knee, and then he hit the what was the other dude? Oh, yeah. Ping Yuan Louis hit him with the knee. Then he hit Frankie Sands with the flying knee. And just been looking good, man. Hit Cub Swanson, hitting him with them leg kicks. He's been coming into his own the last 6 fights. Then you got Adrian Yanez, man. This kid is freaking phenomenal. His boxing is definitely some of the best boxing you're going to see in the UFC. He had a stumble last fight where he fought Rob Font, who's, a top 5 to 7 guy in the world, and he just got a little cocky. He was doing good. He was starting to bloody up Rob Font, starting to look real good. And then Rob Font just hit him with some stuff. It happens in a fight, and maybe that'll be good for him. Maybe to let him know, you got to get a little defense going. Rob Font's jab was just piecing up Adrian Yanez. That's one thing is he cannot block a jab to save his life, dude. Randy Costa hit him like 120 jabs, and like he could not stop it. It busted him up, but he was able to get the win in the second round. But a very, very well-rounded guy. Mainly a boxer, and that's pretty much all he needs because he's got so much speed and power in both hands. He's got really good takedown defense, and he's got a black belt for if it does go to the ground, but you're not really ever going to see him wrestle and use that black belt offensively. But counters kicks well with punches, but that's going to be a tough one in this fight, man. KO power in both hands. That fight with Tony Kelly was phenomenal, dude. He hit him with everything but the kitchen sink, was able to get him out of there. And Tony Kelly is very tough. And then remember Victor Rodriguez, the head kick. He had Gustavo Lopez with that counter right. The dude is dangerous, man. This is going to be a phenomenal fight. This is going to be a stand-up fight, and it's going to be back and forth. I don't think one dude dominates the other dude. What I'm going to take Adrian Yanez in this fight. Why I'm taking Adrian Yanez is because I think it's going to be a stand-up fight, and I think he's more durable. Even though he did get rocked and knocked out and finished in his last fight, I've seen Jonathan Martinez get dropped so many times, even get finished. Davey Grant was able to drop him and finish him. Andre Sukumtau was able to drop him. He got dropped by, I believe Wuji Burin dropped him like 2 times. Davey Grant finished him. Alejandro Perez dropped him. So this dude can get hurt, man. I just think Adrian Yanez at some point in the small cage is actually going to help Adrian Yanez's style, because then he can be quicker in his face and not be at that kicking range with Jonathan Martinez. And I think at some point in this fight, man, Adrian Yanez is just backing Martinez up, which is going to hurt Martinez's kicking game. I think Yanez is going to hit him with something big and get him out of there, man. I actually think this fight goes under. So give me Yanez by knockout. Next fight is the co-main event. We have Jennifer Maia versus Viviane Araujo. Jennifer Maia is 21-9-1, currently sitting at -150, 35 years old, 5'4" with a 64-inch reach. Viviane Araujo is 11-5, currently sitting at +125. She's 36 years old, 5'4" with a 68-inch reach. I feel pretty strongly about this fight. This is like my Bill Algeo fight this week. Jennifer Maia, she's very, very, very well-rounded. She's got really good boxing. She's got really good movement and speed and counter boxing, and she can dart forward with her own punches and be on the offensive. And like I said, good counter striking. She beat up Casey O'Neill, gave her a real vet lesson, gave an undefeated young fighter a vet lesson, and showed her there's stuff in your game that you have to fix before you can get on the level with these other girls. She beat up Morena Moros, where she was able to use, different clinch, speed, movement. Her boxing is phenomenal. I'll tell you this too, man. Ever since that fight with Valentina, she's came in phenomenal shape. And these last 3 fights, even with Manon Farrell, which she put up an excellent fight with her down in Columbus. If she wouldn't have got hurt, she hit Manon with a crazy head kick, dude, that hurt her for a little bit. But she's just so much improved in the last couple of years, and I love the fight shape she's been coming in. Her right hand's crisp and powerful. She's got a strong clinch against the cage. She's got good offensive wrestling. You've seen her take Valentina Shevchenko down, and she's got good defensive wrestling, and she's got excellent jiu-jitsu. She's got good arm bars. You've seen her hit Joanne Wood with the arm bar off her back in the first round. Great cardio, great toughness, great durability, and that cardio is on point. And that's going to help her here when she's fighting a girl like Viviane Araujo, because Viviane Araujo is good, man. She's got good boxing. She's got fast hands. She's got pretty good power. She's got pretty good wrestling, and she's got pretty good jiu-jitsu, pretty good ground and pound, powerful leg kicks, super fast and good forward pressure. But she's getting older, and she has not been looking that great in her last couple of fights. The Alekseeva fight was decent. It was just a stand-up boxing match, so she was able to keep her cardio up a little better than she usually does. But against Amanda Ribas, man, she just kind of looks slow, and she's so hittable. She doesn't move her head, and she's just constantly coming forward trying to hit you. But man, Ribas was able to counter her with some big shots, rock her, and then just beat her up the rest of the fight. And that's not a good look, because you've seen what Macy Barber was able to do to Amanda Ribas, who's more of a natural 115, fighter. But she's well-rounded. She's just a little older, a little slower. I don't think she takes punches very well anymore, and her cardio is terrible. So I don't really see anywhere in this fight where Viviane Araujo is going to threaten Jennifer Maia. Viviane Araujo is going to be plotting forward, wanting to box, wanting to throw some leg kicks, and Jennifer Maia is going to be moving and using her speed and movement and counter striking to just piece up Viviane Araujo. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a knockdown on Viviane too. I believe that she could land some takedowns and get some top control, just like Amanda Ribas was. And I just believe that Viviane Araujo, it's a momentum thing. She's on her way out, in my opinion, on her way to retirement. Hasn't looked good in her last couple of fights. And then you got someone like, she's 0-2 in her last two fights. And then you got someone like Jennifer Maia, who's 2-0, and it's just been looking more phenomenal. She's a little bit younger, like a year and a half younger. So give me Jennifer Maia. I think she gets it done by decision. I think that it's a clear decision, like a 30-27, man. I think that she's able to land the bigger shots, more shots, and I think that she's able to control the grappling. So give me Jennifer Maia. Main event time. We have Sodiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza, and this is going to be a banger. Super Sodiq Yusuff is 13-2, currently sitting at minus 165. He's 30 years old, 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. Edson Jr. Barboza is 23-11, currently sitting at plus 140. 37 years old, 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. So you see Sodiq's 7 years younger, but Edson's going to have 2 inches of height and 4 inches of reach. Super Sodiq Yusuff, man. I like this kid's style. Fast, explosive striker, man. His boxing is super fast. He's got super fast head kicks, super fast leg kicks. You've seen that he was able to beat up Alex Caceres' lead leg bad with them leg kicks. He's got good jiu-jitsu. You've seen him snatch up that choke on Don Shanis. And before that, he had a really good fight with Arnold Allen where he landed more strikes and he probably almost won every round, but he would get dropped. He got dropped in the first round, the second round, man, and that really gave Arnold Allen the win. He had the bigger moments in that fight. But other than that, he's fought some pretty decent people, got some pretty good wins. Andre Fili, that was a good back and forth fight. Got the win over Gabriel Benitez, but he's really fought, a very low level of competition to be coming up here and fighting Edson Barboza. But he's got good offensive and defensive grappling, very fast and explosive. He's got really good power in his right hand. He's got a really good head kick, and super tough, super durable with excellent cardio. He's always coming forward, and he's always throwing something. He's putting a pace on you. Edson Barboza, this dude, man, phenomenal Muay Thai striking, phenomenal kickboxing Muay Thai style. Says here he's Muay Thai and Taekwondo, but I like the Muay Thai. Crazy kick game, man. Crazy kick game. His spinning kicks are phenomenal. He's got the spinning. Where was it? Back in the day. If you've been watching back this far when he got Terry Adam with that spinning wheel kick, that was crazy. That's still on highlight reels all over the place, but that was back in the day. But he's got phenomenal striking. He's got excellent kicks all over the body. He's got phenomenal boxing. You've seen against Shane Burgos where he was able to hit him with that right hook after putting a lot of damage on him all fight. And then Burgos, just did that Glass Joe thing where he went back and bounced off the cage and was knocked out on like 10 seconds later, it was crazy. But I thought he beat Dan Ige. I went and rewatched that fight. I thought he beat Dan Ige. So his real losses down here should be to Giga and Bryce Mitchell, where, Giga was just the better kickboxer, the younger, better kickboxer at the time. And Bryce Mitchell was just able to out-grapple him. But he looked phenomenal against Billy Q, gets that step down in competition, able to hit Billy Q with that big knee. And that was a pretty good fight. That was back and forth, before he was able to catch Billy Q coming in with a big shot, and he hit him with that knee and put him out. And I won a bunch of money on that fight. But he's looked good against Shane Burgos, man. That was a couple years ago, 2.5 years ago. But, man, this is going to be a really good fight because both these guys got good striking. Both these guys got pretty good offensive and defensive wrestling. Like, I don't think Sadiq Yusuff is going to be able to out-wrestle Edson here. Definitely not in that first, second, or third round before Edson wears out. But this is going to be an excellent fight. I want to pick Edson so bad, man, but I think Sadiq Yusuff can actually win this fight. I think that his forward pressure pace will keep Edson where Edson won't be able to use as many kicks as he wants to, and then Sadiq won't stay at kicking range with him. He'll be right in his face, throwing leg kicks himself, and then using his fast, lightning fast boxing. I think the first couple rounds are tough and back and forth, but if you ever watch Edson fight, man, he hasn't been in a 5-round fight in a while, but the damage, like even against Giga, it just the damage builds up on him, and he starts slowing down, and he starts getting beat up more the more and more the fight goes. He's fast and explosive the first 2 rounds, but he always starts slowing down and wearing out. And I think Sadiq can put some damage on him and put a pace on him to slow him down. And I think mix in a little wrestling after, say, that 3rd round. And I think that he can get the win here over Barboza. I don't think he finishes him. I think that this could be like a tough 5-round fight because Barboza is super tough, super durable. But give me Sadiq Yusuff in a very, very tough decision win. I think that he's going to be a little faster, and I think he's going to hit with some big shots, and I think he's just going to wear on Edson. It's going to be a war. Both these dudes are going to beat the crap out of each other for them first 2.5 rounds. But this being a 5-round fight, I just got to favor Sadiq's cardio and just his toughness, man. So give me Sadiq in that main event, and I think it's going to be a super good fight. I can't wait to watch it. Everybody check me and Johnny K Picks out. Thursday night, we'll be doing our live show, and then Saturday, we'll be doing our live pre-show. Also, like I said, man, shout out to my boy, Face Meat Fist, my boy Andrew Sorowitz for hooking me up with the gear, hooking everybody up with the gear, sponsoring the show. So I really appreciate everybody doing everything. If I forgot anything, I'm sorry, man. I've been so busy these last couple of weeks that I'm sorry. Trying to keep up with Twitter, Instagram, Discord, Patreon, YouTube, the comments, and I'll try to get back to everybody. You guys know if you message me, man, I get back to you, but it might take me a second, but I get back to everybody. But I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best, man. So I really appreciate everybody's help, everybody's patience and everything. We're getting 5 units this week. Bet Jennifer Maia. I will see you guys.